Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all of my fellow friends. Today we're going to talk about random variable. So I am Idlan from H4T03. This is Nabil, this is Nurin Raiza, Diana and Izati. So let's begin our discussion.
What do you guys understand about random variable?
A random variable is a variable whose value is unknown or a function that assigns values to each of an experiment's outcomes. A random variable can be either discrete, having specific values, or continuous, any value in a continuous range. The use of random variables is most common in probability and statistics, where they are used to quantify outcomes of random occurrences. Risk analysts use random variables to estimate the probability of an adverse event occurring.
For me, random variable are the total opposite of non-random variable, meaning the value it takes when you measure come from a list or range of values. And most importantly, all those possible values in that list or range has a chance of being taken by the random variable. Hence, you cannot say for sure before measuring about the value it will take, how much ever you try to control it. A typical example of a random variable is the outcome of a coin toss. Consider a probability distribution in which the outcome of a random event are not equally likely to happen. If the random variable y is the number of heads we get from tossing two coins, then y could be 0, 1 or 2. This means that we could have no heads, one head or both head on a two coin toss.
One example of a discrete random variable is the number of traffic accidents that occur in a specific city on a given day. Using historical data, a police department could create a probability distribution that shows how likely it is that a certain number of accidents occur on a given day.
One of the most basic example for random variable is when we throwing a dice. This random variable is a discrete random variable, which is a variable that values take only a specific number of values. The outcome of throwing a dice is specific, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6.
Another example for continuous random variable is the weight of certain animal like a dog. This is a continuous random variable because it can take on an infinite number of values. For example, a dog might weigh 30.33 pounds or 50.341 pounds or 60.5 pounds. In this case, we could collect data on the weight of the dog and create probability distribution that tell us the probability that randomly selected dog weight between two different amounts.
From my point of view, I'm going to say that marathon time is one of the very close example for continuous random variable, which is for a given runner, time for a given runner. This is an example of continuous random variable because it can take of an infinite number of values. For example, a runner might complete a marathon in 3 hours 20 minutes, 12.000343 seconds, or they may complete the marathon in 4 hours 6 minutes 2.28889 seconds, and etc. In this scenario, we could use historical marathon times to create a probability distribution that tells us that the probability that a given runner finish between a certain time interval.
The usage of random variable, I think one of the example is in the corporate world. Random variables can be assigned to properties such as the average price of an asset over a given time period, the return on investment after a specific number of years, the estimated turnover rate at the company within the following 6 months, etc. To elaborate on the example Diana said just now, risk analysts assign random variables to risk models when they want to estimate the probability of an adverse event occurring. These variables are presented using tools such as scenario and sensitivity analysis tables,
which risk managers use to make decisions concerning risk mitigation. Why do we need random variable in life?
Well, we need the random variable in life because it consists of our daily life. For example, the height of the students in the class and the number of hours of the person work in a week. All these contain a range of value of an interval. Thus, it is a continuous random variable too. Example for discrete random variable are the number of the student came to school of each day and the number of gets sold in a month. So this is our daily life that fill with the example of random variable.
So next, how random variable helps you to save money?
I'm gonna say that random variables are part of a random experiment conducted in probability or statistics. These experiments are carried to quantify the values of random variables. Random variables can help us save money because they are experiments being conducted to determine the investment and finance of a company. Thus, we also can determine and monitor our investment and finance on our way by using random variable. That's all.
I think that's all for our discussion today.
Okay, that's
Thank
an our
you.
dedication. Thank you.
Thank you.